Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's Eric from Free NBA Daily Bets. This is the December 4th, Wednesday, December 4th podcast. We had a really good, I had a really good night yesterday. Sorry, when people say we, they think there's more people doing this. It's just me, guys. It's just me that does this. These are my own original bets. So I had a nice day yesterday, 4 units. Should have been more. It really should have been more, but I was really proud. I hit all of my 4-unit plays. So those are my top plays, 4 or 5 unit plays. I went 3 for 3 with those. So really, really happy there. I'm plus 19 units on the season. So the $100 better would be up $1,900 if you just played my plays. So that is really cool, guys, giving out free money here. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. I have not broken down these games yet, so I'm just going to start looking over injury reports and all that stuff. But first game up, we have, before I get into that, follow all my official plays and all my communication too. Like if you're looking for the podcast or the YouTube video, I'll let you guys know the night before if I'm not going to do it that night. Usually I try to get the podcast and the YouTube video out the night before. Sometimes I'm just too busy in my own personal life, too tired to do it the night before, and I just do it in the morning time like right now. So at Easy Money Wins is my Twitter. So follow me at Easy Money Wins for all my official bets and all my official communication. All right, let's get it going, guys. But first game up, we've got the Orlando Magic at the Philadelphia 76ers. The line right now is minus 3.5 going to minus 4. And I'm also kind of battling a cold, guys. So that's why my voice might sound a little sick. I might be getting a little sick, guys. That NBA illness, guys, might have followed me. So let's see. So both these teams played last night, the Magic and the 76ers. The Magic lost at New York, and they only lost by 15, but they were getting worked, guys. They were losing by 30 plus, for most of the second half. And then they're like, oh crap, we can't lose by 30 because then we get kicked out of the NBA knockout round. So then they rallied and they only lost by 15, so now they advanced. So kind of like a bittersweet moment yesterday. They celebrated for sure, but then weren't happy with losing. And then Philly has won 3 out of their last 4 games, I believe. They won yesterday in Charlotte, and they covered. I was on that. That was one of my 4-unit plays, but it was on the money line. So if you had Charlotte minus 4.5, Philadelphia minus 4.5, congratulations. That barely cashed for you, but I'm happy that it did if it did for you guys. So I know they've won 3 out of their last 5 games, but they took Houston to overtime at home. And then, so they'd be in Brooklyn, Detroit without Cade Cunningham, and then Charlotte with no LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and anybody. So, they've really beaten 3. Detroit, okay. We'll classify that as a good win, but still, no Cade Cunningham. They're a different team without him. So, now they do a home back-to-back with, not back-to-back, but, they get rest. So, they'll play Orlando today, and then they'll play Orlando again on Friday. So both these two teams play each other again on Friday. And let's see, they played already earlier this season. Orlando won 98-86. That was at Orlando. And I believe Philadelphia won the first quarter and first half in that game. Now, this spot in particular, I don't like for Philadelphia. I don't like that they're coming off 2 wins on the road. Pretty satisfying wins there. Let's check the minutes report for them. And then Orlando's coming off this really bad loss. Even though they clinched and they're excited about that, they'll focus more on the loss and hey, that wasn't a good effort. And it kind of snapped a lot of momentum they had. They won 6 or 7 in a row and 12 out of their last 13 games. So, but a lot of these wins, guys, if you look at their wins, these wins aren't impressive. They beat New Orleans, Washington, Charlotte, Indiana. Indiana's going through some things. They beat Philadelphia. They beat Phoenix without Kevin Durant. Then they lost at the Clippers. They beat the Lakers on the buzzer, which, okay, that's their most impressive win out of all this. Then they beat Detroit without Cade Cunningham, I believe. Then they beat Charlotte, Chicago, Brooklyn. Orlando hasn't beaten anybody, guys. Literally. They beat the Lakers and a banged-up Phoenix team and an Indiana team that's trying to find their identity. Every one of those teams is not very good or bottom or middle of the NBA. So what happened yesterday? They played the Knicks, a step up for sure, and they got smoked. And I was on the Knicks minus 4.5, 4-unit play. So I got a good feel on this Magic team. But just with the Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid injury situation, like they're not going to play today. And then Orlando has a ton of size. Like I just stylistically, I don't think this bodes well for Philadelphia. They're not going to get a lot of rebounds. I mean, their tallest guy is like 6'8" in Yabusele. So I can only look. No one played. Oh, Paul George played 37 minutes. Tyrese Maxey played 37 minutes. So we have to check that injury report for them. And then it's also easier travel for Orlando. It's only like a 2-hour bus ride from Philadelphia to New York City. So Philly definitely had the longer travel from Charlotte to Philly and on a plane. It's not that bad. I mean, it's really not that bad, but I don't know. You probably don't need to look into that too much. But yeah, I can only look Orlando here, guys. Orlando is the taller, bigger team, more physical. They just, they don't generate a ton of offense. That's the only thing about them. So, like, if Philly starts shooting the ball well, who knows? Who knows, guys? Let's see. Minutes, Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs both played 39 minutes. Everyone else played less than that. So, they're both young guys. I expect them to go. Short travel. So, yeah, I like that Orlando minus 4. I might get there with it, but I don't know. I'm just a little, I don't know why I'm hesitant. Actually. Because even though the 76ers are winning and they need to win, I just, personnel-wise, guys, I don't think they got it for this game. I don't think they do. Like, I mean, they definitely want to keep winning, but give me the team that lost by basically 30 yesterday, trying to have a better showing, and then maybe we'll take Philly on Friday. Maybe Joel Embiid comes back Friday, and then we can take them there. But yeah, there's some wins coming up for Philly again, guys. Philly plays. Let's see here. They play at Chicago, Indiana at home, then Charlotte back to back, then San Antonio at home. Like they have some wins coming their way, guys. They can not afford to lose this game, but you know what I'm saying. All right, enough of that game. Well, let's take a look at the over-under. The over-under is 209. I like over. Do like the over there. I know that's tough with both those teams. They like to play very, very low-scoring games. But I don't know. I just think both teams on a back-to-back, I'd lean over the total there, over 209. Okay, guys, next game. We've got the Detroit Pistons at the Boston Celtics. Spread right now is minus 13.5. We got some minus 14s out there for Boston. Total is 221. Now, Detroit played last night, and it was really, really disappointing. I don't know if that's going to like carry over here. I think it might, honestly, because they had a chance to go to the NBA knockout round and they just got whooped. They got their tails whooped yesterday by Milwaukee, 128-107, and it was never close, guys. They were down like 20 at halftime. So yeah, it was done. Milwaukee was like big brothered them, and they've like won like 13 in a row against the Pistons or something like that. So. Let's check the minutes logged. Cade Cunningham, 33. Tobias Harris, 33. Jaden Ivey, 30 minutes. So really not bad minutes played there for Detroit. It's just, again, is this going to be like a hangover effect with the Pistons? Like, how are they going to feel after this game? Like, that was like the biggest game. It was at home. Everything to play for. Like, they're probably not going to make the play-in tournament. Well, I don't know. They might make the play-in tournament. I mean, the play-in tournament. They might make that for the postseason. They might make that. But still, the odds are that they probably will not. But, I don't know. That might have been their biggest game of the season, guys, And so, like, how do you come back from that? How do you handle that? And then, not only that, how do you handle that playing against the best team in the NBA and on the road at Boston? So, yeah, not a great spot for them. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They started losing a lot, actually, recently. They've only won 2 games out of their last 6. Yeah, it's not good. So for Boston, let's take a look here at the injury report. I know, but they do this on back-to-backs and stuff. They rotate who's in and who's out. So I think everyone should be available for this game. It looks like Drew Holiday and Jason Tatum are the only ones questionable for this game, but I know Tatum played the other night. Drew Holiday did not, but I would expect he goes. I really think everybody for Boston goes in this one, guys. I think that those injuries are just a injury because they're so deep. They can get away with it. They can still play really really well without those guys. So like they just play half of their starters on one back to back, and then on the other one they play the other starters. They did that last year. So I think Drew Holiday and Tatum both play tonight, and then their next game is Friday at home against Milwaukee. This is the second game of a 5-game homestand for Boston. So they're comfortable. They're at home chilling. So definitely the bigger game is Milwaukee for them. They're coming off a win against Miami. I can only look Boston here, guys. I really can. I know it's a high number, and I know Detroit's a really respectable basketball team this year. But I'm probably going to stay off this game. I'm not into guessing whether or not Detroit's going to be all there mentally. They might be. Let's see what the total is. 221, like I said. I lean over. I think Detroit plays like usually they're an intense team and they play slow, but I think they might get behind the 8 ball here and have to play catch up, and then that's only going to lead to points. So I lean over 221. Okay, guys, next game. We've got the Los Angeles Lakers at the Miami Heat. The spread right now, let me refresh the page, is -2. -2 for Miami. Total is 216. Couple of 216.5s, 215.5s, 217, so somewhere around there. We'll say 216. And let's take a look. Los Angeles has lost a lot of games recently. They've lost 5 out of their last 7 games. And let's see here. They just lost at Minnesota on Monday, 109-80. I think Austin Reeves did not play in that game. Let's check the injury report. Their next game for Los Angeles is at Atlanta on Friday. And I don't know how LeBron handles going back to Miami to play. I know he gets like a standing ovation usually every time he goes back and all that. I don't know if it really seriously matters to him. Let's see Austin Reeves' status. Austin Reeves is questionable. So we'll see if Austin plays or not. He took a hard fall like 5 days ago. So Anthony Davis is probable. And that's really all that matters on the injury report, those 2 guys right there. So it looks like D'Angelo Russell is over the NBA illness. Gabe Vincent going back to Miami, right? He played with the Heat. That's funny. Okay, so let's see. At Atlanta Friday, they've lost a lot. They've only beaten Utah and San Antonio out of their last 7 games. They're not great on the road this year either, but they have won 2 out of their last 4 road games. Well, actually, they've won 4 out of their last 6 road games. Okay, but the teams that they beat were really bad teams on the road. So this is definitely a step up in Miami. Let's take a look at what's going on with Miami and their situation. This is their first home game in the last 3 games or something like that. They're on a 2-game losing streak, Miami is, so they definitely want to win this game. They play Saturday at home against Phoenix, so they get a nice day off, a couple of days off after this, 3 days off after this game. Let's see, Jimmy Butler probably plays. He did not play against Boston. That was the second night of a back-to-back. It looks like he's still questionable. You just got to monitor. I mean, if you want to bet the Heat, I don't put a lot of stock into Jimmy Butler, but I think he plays in this game, guys, and I think he kind of matters. I think you want him out there for this. Now, over/under-wise, LeBron's in a shooting slump, and just if you look at their games, like they've only scored 80, 105, 93, 119, 100, 102. Like they're not shooting the ball well. They're not right now, and it's not like they're playing like amazing defensive teams either. I mean, Utah's not amazing. They only scored 105. Oklahoma City, they only scored 93, and that was at home. At Phoenix, they could only score 100. Phoenix scored 127. So let's see what that over-under is. I like the under already in my mind. Over-under is 217, 216, like I said. I lean under there, guys. I might get there. I might get there with that. I might get there with that. I kind of like that under a lot. See, because Miami scored a lot against Toronto, but Toronto plays faster. But at Charlotte, they only scored 98. At home against Milwaukee, 103. Like, I mean, 109, 105 gets us there. 109, 106 gets us under the total. You might want to fade like a team total under. That's interesting. I like that under, guys, a lot. I'm going to think about that one. But as far as the side, this is tough, guys. This is tough. I really like Los Angeles. I think they're the better team, or more talented team for sure. But Miami off of 2 losses. This is a tough game, guys. I think I'm going to stay off of this game. I know it's kind of crazy. I basically bet like every single game there is, but I want to bet LA, but it's hard for me to go against home teams. Like that's like one of my betting principles. Like I'm looking at the home team for sure. Like if it's a close game, it's a close pick'em game, and I think the home team has a shot. Like it's hard for me to go against that home team, and I think the home team definitely has a shot here. I might bet the Heat tonight, guys. I might bet the Heat. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They've been alternating wins and losses pretty well. So and they got Phoenix coming up on Saturday. I mean, and then they got Cleveland on Sunday. They have wow. Yeah, I think they pull this game out. I don't love it, but I might get there with it. Okay, next game, guys. Next game up. Indiana Pacers at the Brooklyn Nets. See what the line is. Indiana minus 2.5. Indiana minus 2. I will be on the Indiana Pacers, guys. I am almost certain of that. I just need to make sure Halliburton's playing, because they did play last night at Toronto, and the Brooklyn Nets did not play last night. They played. They got whooped by Chicago the other night. Let's see. Was that Sunday night? That was Monday. That was Monday night. They got smoked by Chicago. So let's just look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn's lost 3 in a row. They won 3 in a row before that on the road. They overachieved for sure. They got Milwaukee on Sunday, so they've got a nice 3 days off after this game. So they're definitely in a really better rest spot than Indiana is. Depth chart, they got a lot of injuries going on here, guys. A lot of injuries. So Cam Thomas is out. Cam Johnson looks to be questionable. Dorian Finney-Smith is out. Let me take a look here, guys. Let me see what's official, what's not. So Cam Johnson is questionable. Zaire Williams is out. Oh, Dorian Finney-Smith is questionable. So Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith are questionable. I would assume Ben Simmons is able to go for this game, because he just sits out back-to-back. So I would expect we have Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton. We know Zaire Williams is out, but they still have Jalen Wilson. Keon Johnson's been playing better. Tyrese Martin has also been playing okay. Shake Milton has also been playing okay. And they got Trendon Watford too. So, oh man, guys, trust me, I try to look to fade Brooklyn right now, because they're just doing too well right now. Like they can't keep this up. They can't keep this up. Them covering spreads, but they haven't covered the last 3, or maybe they did. I think they did cover against Orlando, the last game when they lost by 8. Actually, no, I don't think they did. I think they did not cover that. So they're 0-3 covers in their last 3. So I don't know. Maybe they're ripe to play tonight against Indiana. Let's see the minutes logged for Indiana. Indiana has also lost 3 straight after they won 3 straight. And then they lost 3 straight before they won 3 straight. So they've only won 3 out of their last 9 games. They're at Chicago Friday, so they have Thursday off. So, let's check these minutes logged for Indiana against Toronto last night. They lost 122-111. And they really just had a bad first half. That's honestly what it was. So Miles Turner played 38. Halliburton played 40. Benedict Mathurin played 37. Pascal Siakam played 36 minutes. Everyone else played under 30. Oh, Miles Turner played 38 minutes, like I said. That's a lot of heavy minutes there, guys, in a game where they were trying to come back and exert a lot of energy. And I want to bet Indiana, guys. I do. It's not like, I mean, you do have to go through customs and everything to go to Toronto to Brooklyn, but um, Brooklyn's been at home. They've been rested. They've had 2 days off, Sunday and Monday. And you know what, guys? Let's take a look at this over under. Let's take a look at this over under. Hold on. This over unders at 225. You know what's going to be the way to go here, guys? I know Brooklyn's going to play really, really freaking hard. That's what I do know. I can. So, like, there's this thing about sports betting, guys. You have to bet what you know, okay? Like, what is the most predictable outcome in this game for Indiana and Brooklyn? The most predictable outcome is that obviously both teams are going to play hard, but if you look at Brooklyn, they play extremely well this year. That's what they've been showing. Like, they've been overachieving, they've been covering the spreads, like all that stuff. They bounce back whenever they lose. They're off an awful loss, okay? So what has been their track record off awful losses this year? Against Orlando, off an awful loss. Just 3 games ago, they came back and they were winning at halftime or tied at halftime, playing really well, almost beat Orlando. Okay, that's a playoff team. They played really, really well against them. Okay, when they got smoked by Philadelphia, they came back at Sacramento and beat Sacramento. Okay, let's take another time whenever they lost. Okay, lost by 10 to New York. They came back and beat Charlotte by 1 at home. Let's see. Pretty much every single time that they get smoked by double digits, they come back and they play freaking great. Okay, so that's their pattern. That's their makeup. That's their team makeup. So I'm telling you right now, what we know for sure is that Brooklyn's going to give a huge effort tonight. A huge effort tonight. Okay. Now, what do we know about Indiana? They're going to be tired. They're on a back-to-back. They're going to try to play hard too because they're like on a really bad losing streak as well. But Indiana is the more talented scoring team, okay? But what we also know is that they're not very good defensively, okay? And so that's the way I want to look. I want to look at Brooklyn points. And I know that's kind of hard to stomach because Brooklyn doesn't score a lot of points. If you look at their last 3 games, they scored 102, 92, and 100. But the total is low. It's at 225. So if we just take a look at that, like their team total over is going to be like, because they're the underdog, so we'll even get a little bit of value with them at plus 2.5. So 225 would be like 112. So it'd be like 111.5 for them to get over. It'd be like 56.5 at halftime for them to get over. And then what for like first quarter? It's a little high for Brooklyn, guys. It is. You know, the total over might just be the best play, over 225 for both these teams. But I don't know, because Brooklyn might play it slow down. They might slow it down. You know what, guys? I think Brooklyn's just the play. I think just playing first quarter, first half, full game against Indiana. Even though Indiana's off that, like Indiana's got issues. I know they were a playoff team last year. I know they got star power and all that stuff, but I like Brooklyn. I like Brooklyn in this spot a lot. Okay, let's go to the next game. Sorry, I went a little long on that. Before I get that, if you like what you're hearing, guys, drop a like. Leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, engage in my Twitter posts, all this stuff. I'm just doing this for free, guys, and I'm giving out free money. I'm up like 30 units between NFL and NBA this year. Again, if you bet $100 on all my plays, you'd be up $3,000. Like, literally, you don't have to do anything. You just have to follow me on Twitter, set your notifications up. Whenever I release a bet, go to your sportsbook, place the bet. It takes like literally a minute to do. So, and then you could be $3,000 richer in since August, since like 4 months ago. In 4 months' time, you make like an extra $1,000 a month, essentially. So, okay, guys, next game. Atlanta at Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a very satisfying win yesterday at Detroit, like we already mentioned. Let's check their minutes logged, and they've won like 7 games in a row or something like that. They're absolutely on fire. They're at Boston on Friday, like I already mentioned in the Boston breakdown. Let's take a look at the minutes logged for Giannis and Taurean Prince. Okay, come on, click it. Okay, Giannis played 28 minutes. Wow, they're going to be rested, guys. Taurean Prince played 24. Brook Lopez, 33. Damian Lillard, only 32 minutes. Gary Trent Jr., 27 minutes. Bobby Portis, 26 minutes. Oh, that's great news, guys. That's great news. It's just the Bucks. Like, it is a satisfying win, but again, they've been to the NBA Cup last year, so it's not like it's a monumental win for them. They've done this before. They've clinched their group stage and gone to the group play. To the knockout round last year. It's not like some amazing feat for them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, it's a very satisfying win, but I have a feeling it's just going to be business as usual, especially since Doc Rivers played the back-to-back minutes strategy. Like, he didn't exhaust his starters because he didn't have to. He didn't have to exhaust them because they were up 20 at halftime. But, yeah, he didn't play them heavy minutes at all, guys. I mean, Giannis only played 28. That's outstanding. Okay, Atlanta. Let's see what's going on in Atlanta's situation. That in Detroit to Milwaukee, that's not bad travel at all. Like that's only like an hour, if that, plane flight. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go across the Lake Michigan or whatever it is. So, man, I want to be all over the Bucks today. And I know it's like kind of like a letdown spot potentially. And Atlanta's won 4 in a row. I mean, I'm not going to discredit them on this, but they really were on the ropes against the Pelicans. And I was on that game. I had a 4-unit play on the Pelicans +9. They lost by 12, but they were down by like 6 points with like 2 minutes to go. And then Atlanta just caught fire on like the last minute. So that score will fool you a little bit. Atlanta didn't just take care of the Pelicans. It was actually the quite opposite. It was actually a very close game the entire game. Charlotte, they won by 3. They were playing with their food, and they had 2 really nice, impressive wins against Cleveland. But before that, they lost 3 in a row, 4 out of their last 5. They lost at home against Dallas, but that was without Luka, and Dallas was on a back-to-back, and they still lost. They got smoked. Chicago, they lost at Chicago. They got absolutely smoked at Chicago. And I remember because I was on them. I bet the Hawks in that game, so that was really frustrating. Then they lost at Golden State by like 23 points. They beat Sacramento. Let's see. I'm just trying to look at the overall feel of this team right now. Like those 2 wins against Cleveland, like they get up for the better team. So like I'm sure they're going to get up for this game. They play Friday at home against the Lakers, like I already mentioned in the Lakers breakdown. Let's see who's on the injury report here for Trae Young's probable. Everyone else is good to go. So I want to bet. Did these 2 teams play already this season? Let's see. No, I don't see that. No, they have not played. This is their first meeting. Let's check last year. I feel like there's some history here between these 2 teams, if I remember correctly. Let me just take a look at last year. Last year, Milwaukee beat them on March 30th by like 10 at home. And then let's see where else. When was the last other time they played? They played Saturday, December 2nd. They lost again that game. And then they beat them at Milwaukee. Oh, that was last year. So really no history like that between these 2 teams. Man, I like Milwaukee, guys. I think I don't think Atlanta can keep this 4-game win streak up. Bucks didn't play heavy minutes last night. When do the Bucks play next? Oh yeah, at Boston on Friday. I mean that is a bigger game, but okay. Let me see what the total is. Total is 236. I like that over a lot. I really do like that over. Milwaukee on a back-to-back, even though like they didn't play heavy minutes, like it's still a back-to-back. Like I don't expect the most crisp defensive intensity. That game is screaming over to me. I think both teams get into the 120s. I know Atlanta hasn't. Well, no, I mean Atlanta got to 124. Yeah, I like that over, guys. I like that over a lot. So that's the way I'm leaning for that game. Again, follow me on Twitter. See where I get officially, guys. Because just because I like that way doesn't mean I officially bet it. But I am looking that way for sure. Okay. Last game up is Minnesota Timberwolves at the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's take a look at the schedule here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, they snapped their 4-game losing streak by following up with 2 home wins against the Los Angeles teams, against the Clippers and the Lakers. I'm mad at myself, guys. I'm really mad at myself that I did not bet the full game against the Lakers the other day. That line was high, but man, I should have got there with it. I only split the first quarter, first half in that game. So yeah, they just beat the Clippers on Friday night, 93-92. And so LA is going to be motivated for this game. LA beat the Trailblazers last night. I'm kicking myself over that, guys. That if I just played that game correctly last night, I had the idea right. I bet it the points instead of the spread for the Clippers. So it's frustrating, guys. Frustrating. So yeah, 127-105. They play Houston on Sunday, so they have a lot of days off after this. The Clippers do, and they just, I don't know, guys. Ty Lue, man, he has his team playing well this year. Norman Powell scored 30 points yesterday. Let's take a look at the minutes. No heavy minutes. James Harden played 32. Everyone else was under 30. So Clippers are going to be rested and ready to go for this one. I want to bet Minnesota, but Minnesota plays at Golden State on Friday. I don't know, guys. Minnesota. I want to play you guys. I really do. But they're healthy. They're fully healthy, except for Rob Dillingham. He might be out for this game. Gosh, guys, this game's tough. Because the Clippers are a really underrated team, in my opinion. Like, I still feel like they're getting kind of disrespected against good teams, and they just lost. See, so annoying. If Minnesota had not beaten the Clippers like 2 games ago, I would be all over Minnesota here. But the Clippers just lost to them. Like that's a lot of motivation there. But then Minnesota is bouncing back. But let's take a look, guys. Let's take a look for real though. Let's take a look. Like they barely beat the Clippers, okay? And they were struggling in that game at times. Now the Lakers, they got the Lakers on a really, really bad spot. Okay? Coming from Utah, altitude, travel, all that stuff. Injury stuff for the Lakers. Like, they took care of them by 29, but I mean, honestly, like it wasn't the easiest in the first quarter. Then they lost to Sacramento. Then they lost to Houston. So yeah, 4-game losing streak. They barely beat Phoenix. They barely beat Sacramento on the road. I kind of lean Clippers here, guys. I like the Clippers in this one. Just have to make sure everyone plays. I mean, +3 underdog. Let me take a look here. I like the Clippers, guys. I don't know if I'm going to bet them. Let me see what that over-under is. Over-under, is it 213, 212? I lean over. I don't feel great about the over, but I lean over. That's a tough game, guys. That's a tough game. I think everyone plays for the Clippers. You're going to be motivated to play them. I might get there with the Clippers full game. I might get there with the full game +3. I like that. I like getting points there. Over-under wise, I mean, Clippers points. Like, that might be a good way to go, too. Even though I just said that over-under is tricky, I still think the Clippers can get to, I mean, if it's 212 is the total, it was 106, so like 104.5 for the Clippers. I can't talk you off that. I kind of like that 104.5 at home for the Clippers. I might go that route. I might go that route. All right, guys, that's the show. That's the show. There's some situations today. I don't think I'm gonna be heavy volume today because I don't want to like I have good hunches, but I want to protect the units that I've already won. And so like yeah, let's protect the units and let's win some more money today, guys. Let's make some really good bets. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.